Hey guys, so today, as you can see, I'm no longer on the bathroom floor, so we're back to our regular programming. Sorry for the wait. Anywho, so today we're going to talk about getting some perspective on where you are when that is a very tough thing to do. Let me explain. But first and foremost, let's get into it. So, the other day I was working and I went to an after work with some of my old co-workers, two guys that I have an enormous amount of respect for, basically, and to put the things in perspective a little bit here, we've known each other for a while now. We've worked very well together. We don't work at the same companies, but we still keep in touch, right? And we were kind of talking back and forth, and something that you may face, it kind of depends. You may already be there if you're a senior or mid-level programmer or something, even a junior perhaps. If you're ever in that situation where you start to get a little bit of a professional network, and you have these chummy old co-workers working at different companies, because the demand for IT personnel is literally so massive. It's actually not that uncommon that a lot of companies try to tap into the personal networks of the different developers. It's actually, a lot of recruiters will offer you a finder's fee if you can direct them to somebody they can hire. Because who in the world is better at finding good programmers than other programmers? Because you know people, right? You go to school with them and all that good stuff, and you work with them. This is very much the same sort of situation with me and these two other guys. And what happens usually when we sit down and we talk is that we try to recruit each other to. We kind of sit there. I try to recruit them to my company. They try to recruit me. Well, that's what we're going to talk about. But basically, we start having this little discussion. Oh, you should come and work with us because we're adding more people to our company, etc., and so forth and so forth. And it's all in good fun. Usually we're slightly intoxicated when we're doing this, but it's like we kind of kid about it, but we don't really kid about it. If you were to if you say yes, they will usually, it will actually lead to something. Anywho, so here I'm sitting, right, and my old colleague Mark, he starts talking to my coworker Alan, right, and it's not the first time he's been on him for basically recruitment purposes, because to put this in perspective, Alan is probably one of the best front-end developers I've ever, developer. He's one of the smartest people I know. And he's extremely talented at what he does. So, I want to recruit him. My boss wants me to recruit him. My colleague Mark wants to recruit him. He's the T6 in Gothenburg. But, this is not about him. This is about me getting a little bit of perspective on things. But you see, I had this, and I'm ashamed. I am a little bit ashamed to admit it, but it stung a little bit because we had this moment. He was like making a pitch, talking about how awesome his company is and so forth. That Alan should come there and he should, start working there, and Alan basically he's saying that, but I want Frederick to come work for me instead. And I say, no, you get Frederick to be your replacement, and then we hire you. A lot of emphasis on Alan. And I kind of just turned to Mark and I kind of said, well, why don't you want to recruit me? And I know why. I know, I think, I thought at the time that I knew. And he kind of said, he said, we've had a few drinks, right? And he said, well, because I know what the company wants. And, between you and Alan, one of the smartest guys ever, worked for like years and years and years and years. And you don't take this the wrong way or anything, but he's him. And although I understood it, and I'll explain exactly to the juniors what's going on here and how I try to think about this sort of thing, but it did hurt. It hurt a lot. more than I would like to care to admit. But here is why this is not a problem, and here is why you have to kind of accept this. I have been working for roughly 3 years. My coworker Alan has worked for 15 years. My coworker Mark has worked for even longer than that. I think it's 20 plus years, something like that. Enormous amount of experience. It doesn't matter how much I would love to be at their experience level. It doesn't matter how hard I work. I don't have that amount of years. And as the key thing that he said was, since I work at the company, I know what they're looking for. And what I never actually, I mean, if they were looking, who says, like, if they were looking for a more junior profile, then maybe the discussion would have been in my favor. Then maybe it would have been me that they were trying to recruit. But if they're so focused on Alan, I can assume, and considering that he's fairly expensive as an individual, I can assume that they're looking for a senior profile, somebody who has his sort of profile. Because remember, the pay bracket between us is fairly large, like really large. We're talking about the difference over 10 years of difference in experience. So hiring Alan is going to cost you a lot more than hiring me. And although, as I said, it stung, that's it. And you may feel this way too. As a junior, you will be in this, it takes a while to, I mean, this is how it is to be a beginner or be somebody who is in the middle of things. I mean, it's all contextual. But if you're in a group of people who are super geniuses, you're not going to be the center of attention. It's that simple. And you're not going to be the person, like, you kind of have to just survive this. Because the thing is, I don't know if you do this, but I do. And I have this most of the time it's very helpful. Most of the time it's very helpful to have the perspective that, all right, I have these amazing people that I compare myself to. I see how amazing they are at what they do, and I will work as hard as I can to catch up to them. I will work every day and work my finger to the bone to be as good as they are. That's the nice part of this. But it's, as I said, it also brings this idea that you hold yourself to the same sort of standard as people that you cannot, that there's simply not reasonable for you to keep up with them. It's that simple. You don't, as I said, you're on different levels. Now, that's what I want you to remember about this. You are on different levels. If you are a junior and you feel like you're not good enough, or you feel like that you can't measure up to these super programs, always ask yourself this question: where are you right now? And where are they? And just look at that completely objectively. Just really be honest with yourself. Throw away prestige, throw away ego, all that stuff. Just throw it away and really ask yourself, is it a fair comparison? And when I stopped being emotional, it took me a few drinks, and I really thought about it, it made sense. I mean, I knew that there is a difference, and there's a big difference. So try to remember that next time you feel like somebody else is so much better than you, getting more praise and so forth. Just try to remember if you are making a fair comparison between yourself and the person that you wish you were like. Have a great day.